Welcome to 365 English. Listen to stories easily. We help you learn English happily through various stories. The speed is slow and the pronunciation is clear. The more you listen, the more you will enjoy it. If you like it, please like it, leave a message to chat, and don't forget to subscribe. From piggy banks to investment accounts, the starting point of financial management habits, Part 1. When we were young, we all probably had a piggy bank. Whether it was a ceramic piggy or a piggy bank modified from a glass bottle. That was the first memory of financial management for many people. Watching coins accumulate little by little is the most primitive joy of financial management. But the starting point of financial management did not start with modern people. If we trace back to history, we will find that this seed has been planted in ancient times. In ancient China, the concept of living within one's means was deeply rooted. It means to arrange expenses according to income and avoid extravagance and waste. The Book of Rights, the King's System, said, "If the year is not good, do not repair the palace or make equipment." This is the embodiment of the idea of thrifty financial management. The ancients would also exchange the extra money for silver bills, grain, and even fields. This was an early way to preserve wealth. In ancient Greece, citizens would hand over their money to the temple treasury for safekeeping. This is one of the earliest deposit institutions in the world. In the Roman Empire, there were people who managed the wealth of the nobility and made loans. These systems were the prototypes of early financial management concepts. In the 19th century, the Western world ushered in a key turning point. The first batch of modern savings banks were established in Britain and Germany. They were aimed at ordinary workers and encouraged people to save their wages. Through interest, they helped them accumulate their first pot of gold. The savings banks at that time were very simple, without high-rise buildings and electronic systems. But their concept was already very advanced, to allow the public to participate in finance. The poor also have the right to achieve financial independence through savings. This is the starting point for the systematization of modern financial management habits. In the mid-20th century, the United States set off an investment boom. After World War II, the stock market was gradually opened to ordinary people. Mutual funds were designed so that the working class could also participate in dividends. The concept of letting money work for you entered the lives of the masses for the first time. At this time, financial management is no longer just saving money, but value-added. In addition to wages, there is also the term passive income. This marks the transition of financial management habits from the era of savings to the era of investment. Many people began to study the market, pay attention to interest rates, and diversify asset allocation. But financial management is not a smooth story. The global financial crisis in 2008 dealt a heavy blow to the world. The real estate bubble burst, the credit crisis broke out, and countless people went bankrupt. This disaster exposed a core problem: the public lacks financial knowledge. Many American families borrow money for consumption and do not understand risk control. Some young people even maxed out their credit cards to buy luxury goods. When the economic storm came, there was almost no preparation. The lack of basic financial literacy became an important fuse of this crisis. So the world began to reflect. Not only banks need to be regulated, but also the financial literacy of the whole people needs to be improved. So the concept of Financial Literacy Month was put on the agenda in various countries. Schools began to offer financial courses, and the government promoted financial education. Australia, Singapore, Canada, and other countries have introduced national policies. Emphasis on cultivating savings and budget awareness from elementary school. Every April, The United States establishes National Financial Quotient Month to promote it to the whole nation. Budget planning, credit management, and investment common sense have become the focus of education. In China, there is also a unique financial quotient education path. Our culture has always emphasized thrift and diligence. The older generation likes not to spend money recklessly, which is an early financial management concept. After the reform and opening up, residents' income has increased, and the demand for financial management has quietly increased. In the 1990s, China's stock market was gradually opened to individual investors. Stock speculation has become a hot topic on the streets. Although many people started blind speculation, it also promoted financial management awakening. People began to pay attention to asset allocation, learned to read K-line charts, and read financial news. At the same time, the development of internet finance has also brought new opportunities. The popularity of Alipay and WeChat payment allows everyone to manage their finances. Money funds and financial products can be participated in with just a mobile phone. The transformation of young people from piggy banks to mobile phone accounts has been quietly completed. And in this change, the financial management concept of a generation has been completely changed. It is no longer money is safest at home, but how to beat inflation. It is no longer it is difficult to buy a house with salary, but accumulate down payment first, then leverage operation. This is a true portrayal of the intergenerational evolution of financial management habits. All of this is actually related to an action in childhood. When you put a coin into a piggy bank for the first time. When you first asked your parents, "How can I make more money?" This is the beginning of financial management awareness. Financial intelligence is not exclusive to highly educated people, but a basic ability in life. And financial management habits are the daily manifestation of this ability. From living within one's means to reasonable planning. From saving as the main thing to diversified investment. The formation of financial management habits is not achieved overnight. It requires social atmosphere, educational support, and personal experience. When the people of a country generally have financial management awareness, the entire economic system will be healthier, more stable, and more resilient. We see that whether it is the farmers in ancient times or the white-collar workers today, as long as they know how to manage money, their fate will slowly change. Financial management is not mysterious. It starts from the first time you save money. Perhaps it was the ceramic piggy in your childhood that witnessed your first step in financial management. From piggy bank to investment account, the starting point of financial management habits part 2. In 1986, a teenager in a small county in Shandong welcomed his first piggy bank in his life. It was a gold ingot made of white porcelain, bought at the New Year's goods stall in the town. His parents told him, saving money is not for wealth but for not panicking. He was only 10 years old, but he remembered this sentence firmly. China at that time had just emerged from the planned economy. Commodity supply began to be abundant, and the market economy began to emerge. The family's savings concept was still strong, and saving money to buy 3 major items was the mainstream goal. Refrigerators, color TVs, and bicycles are the dream configurations of many families. For that boy, the piggy bank is his personal bank. Every time his parents gave him New Year's money, he would carefully put it in. Sometimes he would quietly put the money saved from a popsicle meal into the jar. He didn't know inflation or financial products, but he knew money should be saved. In the 1990s, China began to test the capital market. In December 1990, the Shanghai Stock Exchange was officially established. In 1991, the Shenzhen Stock Exchange was also listed. The opening of the stock market became the starting point for Chinese people to get in touch with modern investment concepts. In 1992, after Deng Xiaoping's speech during his southern tour, the market was further liberalized. The stock market craze spread across the country, and even tea houses for stock trading were available in towns and villages. The boy had entered junior high school, and his relatives began to discuss subscribing to new shares. He first heard the words winning the lottery and dividends, and his heart was full of curiosity. His father began to try to buy stocks with a few hundred yuan. He would take his son to the securities business department to queue up to watch the big screen. Those were electronic numbers alternating between red and green, jumping like a riddle. The teenager asked, "What's the difference between this and saving money?" The father said, "This is to let the money make money." At this moment, the teenager began to realize. It turns out that money can not only be kept but also go out to work. This sentence became his core understanding of financial management during adolescence. He began to try to keep accounts, read the financial section of newspapers, and calculate interest. In 1999, he was admitted to university, majoring in financial management. The family was not well off, and he still relied on careful budgeting in college life. But his financial management habits were already very mature. The monthly living expenses were allocated weekly, and the remaining money was deposited into a fixed-term account. In his sophomore year, he tried his first investment, buying funds. At that time, internet finance had not yet emerged, and all transactions were handled over the counter. He went to the bank 3 times to complete the subscription process. When he returned to the dormitory, he felt unprecedented satisfaction. In the following years, he continued to pay attention to financial knowledge. After 2003, China entered the golden period of real estate development. After graduating from university, he joined a state-owned enterprise and had a stable income. He began to save money regularly and gradually set up a home purchase target account. In 2008, the global financial crisis broke out. He was already a 30-year-old middle-level manager and had just gotten married. The crisis made him realize that neither saving nor investment can be blind. He began to learn risk control, set up emergency funds, and establish diversified asset allocation. This year, China also began to pay attention to financial literacy education for all people. The China Banking Regulatory Commission issued the guidelines for consumer rights protection of banking financial institutions. Major cities began to hold financial knowledge lectures and public welfare publicity. He also participated in a family financial management course held by the community. He remembered that the host said, "Family financial management starts with attitude and becomes a habit." This sentence deeply touched him. Financial management has never been a show of wealth but a sense of stability in life. The small ingot made of ceramics at that time is still on his bookcase. In 2015, he finally realized his dream of buying a house. Half of the down payment was the income extracted from the fixed investment fund. He didn't show off but quietly taught his daughter bookkeeping and budgeting. She asked, "Dad, why is the money increasing?" He smiled, "Because we make it planned." The story of this teenager is a microcosm of many Chinese people. From piggy banks to investment accounts, it is a testimony of an era. It is a country's transition from an agricultural economy to a capital market. It is also the choice of countless ordinary families for their future lives. In 2025, global financial literacy will once again become the focus. In Ontario, Canada, starting from 2024, high school students must pass a financial literacy test to graduate. The test content includes credit score, loan interest rate, tax planning, budget tools. China is also taking action. Primary and secondary schools in Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hangzhou, and other places have piloted financial literacy courses. The Ministry of Education is studying the guidelines for the development of youth financial literacy. In the future, financial literacy education integration may be promoted nationwide. This means that teaching children where money comes from and how to spend it from an early age will become the core component of future education. Compared with Chinese, mathematics, and English, this life knowledge is closer to reality. Financial management is not about becoming rich but avoiding poverty. The internet has also become a new battlefield for financial education. A large number of financial bloggers have emerged on platforms such as Douyin, Qshu, and Bilibili. They use 1 minute to explain budget tools and teach you to understand salary slips. Users vote with likes and attention, making financial education the focus of traffic. Behind this is the overall awakening of the public's financial awareness. People began to understand it is not that making more money means financial security, but whether you have financial management habits and understand financial logic. Financial management has never been a game for the rich but everyone's daily life. Today, a 10-year-old child may have learned to save change with a mobile phone. He knows that Yuebo has returns and credit cards must be paid on time. He may not understand the compound interest formula yet, but he knows to prepare early. This is a gift from the times to them, and it is also the inheritance of the experience of the predecessors. And do you still remember what you saved the first money for? Maybe it was to buy toys, gifts, or birthday surprises for your parents. No matter what it is, at that moment you have been learning financial management. The starting point of financial management has never been numbers but motivation. From piggy banks to investment accounts, what changes are tools and what remains unchanged is belief. The desire to create a better life for yourself and your family is the true origin of financial management habits. From piggy banks to investment accounts, the starting point of financial management habits Part 3. Standing in 2025, we look back at the growth of financial management habits and find an interesting fact. Financial management has never been the patent of economists, but a survival art of life participants. The world is changing rapidly, and the definition and form of financial management are quietly updating. It no longer just refers to buying funds and speculating in stocks, but is deeply bound to everyone's mobile phone, account, and consumption habits. Take teenagers as an example. Their starting point for financial management is no longer a piggy bank. Their first account may be WeChat Change, Alipay Balance, or a savings card bound to their parents. The digital world allows the seeds of financial management to germinate earlier and is easier to get lost. For this reason, many countries around the world have included financial education into the core curriculum system for youth growth. It is not to cultivate future stock gods, but to enable the next generation to have money. Thinking ability. Ontario, Canada is at the forefront. In May 2024, the province officially announced, starting from the 2025 high school students, they must pass a financial literacy graduation test. Content covers budget planning, credit management, investment basics, and risk awareness. In the United States, many states have included financial literacy courses in the credit system. For example, Florida requires all high school students to complete a financial course, including tax declaration, credit score, loan, interest rate, retirement planning, and other contents. The state government emphasized this affects children's future more than calculus. Asia is also following up quickly. Japan launched the Youth Financial Education Program as early as 2012 and increased interest and participation through comics, games, simulated investment, and other forms. South Korea, led by the financial regulatory authorities, established a national financial literacy education platform. China is no exception. In recent years, the Ministry of Education has promoted labor education and family education into the classroom, and many places have also piloted primary and secondary school financial literacy integration courses. For example, the Youth Financial Workshop in Kaiyang District, Beijing, and the How to Use Pocket Money special practice class in a primary school in Guangzhou. The particularity of China's financial education lies in the fact that it is deeply rooted in cultural and epochal changes. From thrifty housekeeping to rational consumption, from bank deposits to digital financial management tools, it is a process of dual innovation of values and tools. Some experts suggest that future primary and secondary education should add 3 compulsory modules: time management, financial management, and psychological management, because financial management is not only about planning, but also about emotions and cognition. We are entering the era of algorithm-defined wallets. Recommendation algorithms can affect your impulse consumption, and an app may manipulate your spending distribution and savings plan. Without basic money thinking, an adult may live like a moonlight boy. So the question is, how should we plant the seeds of financial management in this changing world? The answer is, let financial management change from tool use to lifestyle habits. It is not about chasing hot spots, but about cultivating thinking. It is not about relying on explosions, but on accumulation. Short video platforms happen to be the new classroom for the spread of this kind of thinking. One video of 1 minute, sowing one consciousness awakening at a time. Use stories, dialogues, cartoons, and situations to restore the money thinking in life. When the audience clicks a like, they may plant a seed of savings. For example, imagine such a short video scene. At the beginning, a father turned out a ceramic piggy bank from 30 years ago. The narrator said, that year he struggled for 10 yuan for a month. The camera switched, and he now taught his son to use the financial management app to automatically divide the account for savings. The ending question was raised: what was the purpose of your first savings? Or such a clip. 2 young lovers debated the priority of credit card repayment and investment. One said, pay off the card first and feel at ease. The other said, financial management first, interest compounding. The audience rushed to leave messages in the comment area, triggering real thinking and resonance. This is the most authentic and effective financial education in the era of short videos. Going further, creators can set a weekly financial challenge. This week's challenge: record all your expenses, no limit on the amount. Next week's challenge: try to set a weekly budget and write it down on paper. Users gain a sense of accomplishment in the challenge and also form the prototype of financial management habits. Of course, financial education must also keep pace with the times. For example, in 2025, AI financial advisors will be widely popularized. You only need to enter the goal, and the system can automatically generate investment portfolio suggestions. In this intelligent environment, humans need more judgment and goal-setting abilities. In the next 10 years, we will not only face more or less money, but the anxiety overdraft caused by the information explosion. Faced with the temptation of fancy consumerism, financial management habits are our last line of defense to retain rationality and rhythm. Does a child have financial management habits? Habits determine how he reacts when facing temptations, risks, and opportunities. Is it impulse or analysis? Is it blind obedience or choice? This is the real starting point. From the perspective of the family, the parent's view of money is the invisible textbook of the children. Whether parents plan budgets, talk about investment, and give children the freedom to allocate pocket money will become part of the children's future money thinking. Financial education starts at home and extends to the campus. Finally, let's go back to the question, where did your financial habits start? Was it the 5 yuan bill that was secretly stuffed into the toy piggy bank when you were a child, or the automatic transfer to fund plan that you set up for the first time after growing up? Maybe it's neither, but it's the first time you realize money is not just for spending. Maybe each of us has a little financial housekeeper in our hearts. He is not an expert and does not understand financial terms, but he will always ask you before you buy something, is it worth it? When you are hesitant, remind you, do you have a reserve fund? He is the origin of your financial management habits. Financial management is not about becoming rich, but about becoming a person with a stronger sense of control. It is not about showing off, but about safety. It is not about complexity, but about persistence. It is not about getting rich, but about not panicking. So now is your turning point. Have you moved from knowing about financial management to the stage of starting financial management? Are you ready to become a person with financial management habits from today? You did a great job today. Thank you for watching 365 English. Don't forget to like, leave a message, and comment. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.